Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the Gnome Train.
Woo! Chugga, 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 woo!
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
I'm Frazley, and I am joined by a full house today. Ali of Dungeon Fables, Michael Gaines of World of Warcast, and Lady Emma. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
Good. Happy to be here. It's cold outside. It's kind of icy. Yes. I fell a couple times today while walking my dogs, but I'm on my klutz, and everyone's have to do gravity checks and just make sure that business is still working. It's still working.
Hey, that's good. At least gravity's still doing its job. I
have a couple bruises to prove that it's still working.
Oh. Well, I had an idea for tonight. So I want to check in with both of you, so Ali and Michael. I want to see what your past year creativity has been like. Then, after that, we were going to share some advice that the community's given for new players to World of Warcraft. And then, Ali and Michael, you're going to go head-to-head in some trivia.
Ali wins.
I don't know on this one. So
if it's going down the road, I think it's going down, then Mike's going to completely win. So.
No, Ali is going to win. you do a show about lore. I'm
yes, but I know Frazley, and I have a feeling this is going to go in a different direction.
Tell Royd help
I was
idea.
just
there you go.
Say,
there you go.
Okay.
I'm doomed. I'm going to sit back here and drink now.
Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm drinking too.
Well, while you're drinking, I think Epicinsanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. What have you been up to recently? Maybe we'll start with Ali.
Why am I starting first?
Alphabetical.
Okay, fair enough. Well, outside of Warcraft, actually, and I'm mentioning this because I believe you mentioned this documentary like a few months ago when you watched it. But this past weekend, I watched the Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh, yes.
It's on HBO now. And so it's all about Fred Rogers and, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And, I grew up watching that show as did many other people. But I learned a lot. I didn't know he actually has like a early childhood development background. Yeah. And that's my field of work. So hearing that, like my jaw dropped, my eyes got big. And then there was a portion of it where they actually read like a letter he wrote to himself or like a journal or something. And it sounded a little like there was a lot of like self-doubt in there that he was going to be able to do, what's being put on his shoulders or what he's put on his own shoulders. And it sounded like a little bit like imposter syndrome almost, but like,
yeah,
back then when it wasn't actually like a phrase, a term, and to hear that from someone who, obviously like grew up watching and who just did amazing things and touched so many, like I cried. There were just tears rolling down my face. Oh, it's such a good show, and I'm so glad I took the time to watch that. So if you grew up with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and you haven't watched it yet, you totally should.
It's a good feeling to watch this documentary.
No.
Are you going to go see the movie when it comes out?
Yes, for sure.
Seeing it Saturday.
Yeah, I think Tom Hanks is going to be really good in it.
Yeah.
I thought that was out already. Months ago.
Didn't know it was out. No, it was out.
No,
apparently it's coming out now.
Coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were two different documentaries. There's the Want to Be My Neighbor, and then there's the 10-cent version, which is kind of a in the life. I don't know if it's a documentary, but it's kind of a view at the same way as like Somebody to Love by Queen.
Right. But for World of Warcraft, outside of that, I used my 120 boost from pre-ordering on a Pally, so I'm excited about that. I got 6 out of 8 in Heroic Eternal Palace.
Nice.
Awesome. And just, taking advantage of the anniversary buff to work on reps and alts and that kind of jazz. Did a little bit of dabbling in Classic with Starman, which we always have fun.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I did the Wrath of Lich King Time Walking, and I got Anka-Het as one of the dungeons. Anka-Het is the episode I'm working on this week. So I kept looking around and taking mental notes on things to talk about in the show. And I was also healing, which meant people almost died a couple times. Because I'm like, oh, look at that in the distance. Oh, health bars. Whoops.
Show must go on. Yeah.
yeah, I had to kind of keep healing. But, all in all, it's fine. Got through. No one died, so it's fine. And excited for the holidays to get more time to game with Warcraft and other things. And yeah, that's about it.
Nice. How does Michael Gaines compare to the Taverncast crew? Because you
Taverncast crew is far funnier, and they have smoked beer.
God, that smoke. Here, look, here's the... So this is really good for audio, but for those on video, you can see the bottle cap I saved
nice
from the smoked beer.
I have to get that this weekend.
It actually still smells slightly smoky. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun on Taverncast. It's just, there's no... It's like comparing apples and oranges. Like, there's definitely... I had the benefit of... when I first guested on Warcast, last year, I was not on video and insanely nervous and exposing just how nervous I was. Whereas with Taverncast, I was on video. So it's just a little different. And now...
You were fine.
I was fine. Well, yeah. After some beer.
Yeah, I thought you did great. I liked those episodes.
It was so much fun. They turned out really funny. I rarely rewatch or re-listen to anything I'm in for various reasons. And I've rewatched those a few times because they're so funny.
It was funny. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So that means I need to do a good job on the editing for this.
Just a side note, Eloisis and I might be recording something next week.
Ooh.
That makes me very happy.
Maybe.
So Michael, when you're not doing secret projects with people, what have you been up to?
Life. I've been playing a lot of Classic. And here's the funny thing is that I play very little retail now. I just want to say, it's not because I think that retail is better. I think it's just at that point in the expansion's life cycle where I could take a little bit of a break. I don't raid. And so I have a level 60 mage already on Pagel. Ali and I play on Friday nights. What are we now? 18? 19?
Nice. Yes, I think I'm 19. I think you're 18.
I think I caught up with you.
Did you catch up with me? Okay.
I think I caught up with you. Offline. I went to Teldrassil.
Oh, that's right. You went over.
Yeah, I went to Teldrassil and yeah. So that's been my focus really since August 26th or whenever it was. It's an interesting way to play the game now because when Vanilla was out and we were recording for the first time and everything, it was just you gotta go because you got to keep up with everybody and the expansion. Later on the expansion's coming. You got to finish up what you're doing. Now I can just take my time.
Yeah.
It's like I don't feel like playing today. You know what? That's okay. So, or even better, it's like, well, all right, I got to level 60 on my mage. Everybody is pulling pugs to raid Molten Core and Onyxia and everything. I don't have that stress, that horrible stress. For if anybody was listening to the show a long time ago, I had so much stress.
Well, you were hardcore raiding back then.
I was.
Yeah.
Because raiding was new.
Right.
And so if you wanted to get ahead in what? I don't know. But, looking back at it, I just go, why did I do that? It was fun until it wasn't. So now I can just do whatever I want. And I have all the time in the world to level up a rogue if I wanted to on a PvP server. I probably won't, but it's the thing is that it's there and it's not going away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, I did go into retail for the anniversary stuff. Let's see, I got the anniversary collector's edition, so I had to log in and get all that stuff. And then I got the mount, the anniversary mount.
Definitely.
And let me back up. I got the what is it? The
Obsidian Warbringer.
Obsidian, yes. Yeah. Thank you. I got that. But then the 15th anniversary mount, I said on the show the other day that I didn't realize. I just happened to have my cursor over the saddle, and it turned into a gear. And so I have this quest to get what is it? 50?
40.
I have to get 40 echoes. And I haven't started that yet. I completely forgot about it. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. Oh, I played Overwatch for the first time in a year. I played last week. I had a great time. I played this past weekend. Had a horrible time. So people just haven't changed. I guess teabagging is still around.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to go away.
No. And
Yeah, it just kind of ruined the week I had before, which was so fun. And that's it. That's all.
the only teabagging I've seen recently has been when I've been running ICT with Capo, and Capo teabags the Lich King.
Capo would.
Yeah.
Freaking Capo. Hi, Capo.
So Emma, when you aren't riding around on the Invincible that you have like 50,000 of.
I've only gotten 2.
Okay, only got 2.
Only 2.
Can you give one to Allie? She needs one.
And me.
I'm my best friend, and I keep telling Frazley, run with me. My warrior's the one who's lucky, because he's the one who got it twice. And Precious Ribbon, I think, dropped 5 times. And so my warrior's who you want to go with.
Okay, and I can run with a fellow warrior.
So for me, I haven't really played too much in game. I've been showing up on my raid nights. That's kind of my theme. I'm kind of glad we're taking a break from the Eternal Palace because I was getting a little burnt out there. And we're just doing random achievements. But a game came out last Friday, so November 15th, and I've been meaning to play that because I pre-bought it. But I had issues that I couldn't start it because I didn't know which starter I wanted.
When you're playing Jedi Fallen Order, you go Sith. Of course.
I'm talking about another game, that I have all of them of.
Oh, I get it.
Another farming simulator?
So I thought I'll take the weekend to decide because I had my niece and nephew, and I got my nephew into it. So the big thing is Pokemon. He's really into it thanks to me because, I'm the cool auntie. And I thought maybe he could help me decide. No. He says, why don't you just get all of them? And I'm like, it doesn't work that way, hon. Well, just trade and get them. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have the online subscription for Nintendo Switch yet. Yeah. But I am considering it so I can find a way to get all of them. But it's just his logic. It's just like, go get all of them. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, can't be that hard.
Yeah, it can't be that hard, no.
No, especially because I got him in Sun and Moon, and I have Sun and Moon. And so I already hatched all the eggs so I could get him the starter, so his game already had them. Yeah.
Aww.
So that was one of the things, and because I had him, I couldn't really play because I did want to play in front of him because that's not fair. Because he would want to play. And then after he went home, I had to take my mom back home. So I got to, for my first longest drive ever, 5-hour drive in the mountains.
Look at you.
I know.
Well done. In the
mountains. It probably took a little longer than 5 hours because I probably slowed a little bit. The roads are kind of windy. Took my mom up back home because she had surgery. That's why she couldn't drive. So that was fun. And then on the way back, my sister went with me so she could drive my mom's vehicle. We went back, and my sister, for some morbid reason, wanted to go to random graves and take photos of them.
That's interesting.
Some people enjoy that.
Yeah.
Apparently she's in a Facebook photo club where they take photos of graves. So, yeah.
Sounds like a grave job.
I was thinking of a fun.
And then, I eventually did play on Tuesday. I took the day off of work and just played pretty much 7 hours straight. Well, not straight. I had chores. Yay, adulthood. Played Pokemon, and my starter was the bunny. Bunnies are evil, just FYI, but I picked the bunny.
I mean, they're all fluffy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I felt monkeys are kind of overrated. I didn't really like the look of the lizard final form, so it's the evil bunny. All bunnies are evil.
That's no ordinary bunny.
Sharp pointy teeth.
So, I'm wondering if Jeff Goldblum would think bunnies were evil, or if he would find them interesting.
Evil.
So,
Your segues.
I've been watching a thing because of Apple's TV Plus, and I've been watching The World According to Jeff Goldblum. And I'm loving his enthusiasm for life. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe I'm like Jeff Goldblum, enthusiastic for life, finding new perspectives, finding joy in things. Like, he had one on sneakers, then one on ice cream. I'm excited to see what the next one will be on. But he's so funny, and he will crack jokes here and there. It is just awesome.
I have to watch it. It's on Disney Plus also. So
Oh,
I'll have to
Disney
get around
Plus.
to watching it.
Yes, you're right. It's on Disney Plus. I'm thinking of the other show I was watching on
Oh, okay.
Apple TV Plus. But yeah, no, I did watch it on Disney Plus, and then I'm also caught up on For All Mankind.
I have to watch that too. There's so many things I have to watch.
Oh yes,
So many.
and that one is really cool because it's about the space race. If we had kept going on with it, also about women in space. So it's a lot of different things going through, and it's showing you a lot of cool things. And I love alternate timelines. I find them fascinating.
Have you watched Star Trek?
I've been to the Star Trek experience. I need to watch Star Trek. I've watched episodes. I need to get into it because it's
Okay.
But I know a good podcast to listen to.
I do too.
Yeah, I've gotten up to the Enterprise, and I think I'm on episode 3, and for some reason I just can't get into that one.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
It's been a long ride.
I love Next Generation. I have not watched the original. That's the only one I kind of skipped and went right to Next Generation.
I don't know which one to start with, so I think I'll start with Discovery on CBS All Access. Is that a good one to start with?
No, because there are a lot of references from other shows, and it'll go right over your head.
It's still enjoyable without you.
Yes,
knowing the
it is.
references.
Okay.
I'm looking at it from a different point of view because I've been watching it for 50 years. And so for me, it's like, oh, no, you can't watch Discovery because you got to watch from the beginning and then you get all the references from like previous shows. I forget what it's like to watch a Star Trek show new.
Yeah. Like I've seen Galaxy Quest. I've seen episodes. I just have not seen them in a consecutive order. And I've got an appreciation for Star Trek. I'm past my teen years of being Star Wars versus Star Trek because now I'm like, you can appreciate both.
I am more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars fan because I wasn't really brought up on Star Wars. I was brought up on Star Trek. I can appreciate Star Wars, but I'll pick Star Trek any day.
See, I would say, Fraz, is if you do want to at least have a chance to get some of the references, watch at least the first season of TOS.
Yes.
Okay.
And then go watch Discovery, and at least you'll be able to pick up on some of the stuff going on and some of the connections.
Just wondering if there's anything in season 2. Ooh, actually, there's one thing in season 3, though, of TOS. But it's not that important. But it's there.
Okay.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. So it's, but I do know one thing that I want to talk about though tonight.
What?
So you both produce shows that have been going on for a while, and you're two people that you're after my own heart, that you put your all into podcasting. You really want to do the best that you can with it. You love doing it. So I'd like to check in with both of you. So what has been a creative victory you've had this year? And I'll start with either Ali or Michael, whoever wants to go first.
A creative victory.
Yes.
I fixed my website last week. There's my creative victory. It's like I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Creative victory.
I mean, a website's definitely a victory because it's.
I was kidding. There was a plugin that was screwing up the website.
Oh yes,
it's a creative victory.
Yeah.
I hate WordPress.
Me too.
I'm really starting to. When WordPress first came out, I was like, "This is the best thing ever," and now I'm just like, "Oh, I'm so sick and tired of like maintaining this crap."
There's a reason I use SquareSites and Radio Public pod sites and all of those.
I actually looked at your site to see what you're running because I was like, I can't do this WordPress thing any longer.
Yeah, disclosure, I'm an investor in Radio Public, but I definitely like the Radio Public pod sites because you put up a feed once, it takes that information and makes a site for you. So I like it. Only $15 a month, so not a bad price.
But I'm not just an investor. I'm also a client.
Okay. Ali, you go because I can't think of anything.
Creative victory.
Can I speak for Ali?
Yes.
Yes, please do.
You did a whole year of your show.
Yeah. That's actually I think that's a good creative victory right there. There was a lot of times because especially with the lower podcast, it's so much more work than I ever expected. And on top of that, editing and everything, even though they're shorter episodes and it's just me, it's still A lot of work, and there was multiple times I was like, why am I doing this? I should not do this anymore. I'm done. I'm burnt out. But I plugged through and got to a good spot where it's still a lot of work. But, I've ironed out some of the bumps, and it's a little easier and slightly less daunting and doesn't burn me out quite as much. So I think being able to get to where I am now, where I do have a year under my belt and have gained more confidence to continue to be creative, is probably my biggest victory.
I don't know. I'm just coasting. I don't mean to sound conceited or anything, but I've been coasting.
Well, you've been doing this for quite a long time.
I have.
Yeah.
Been doing
shows,
Warcast for 15 years. Oh, yeah. There's my thing. It was 15 years that I've been doing Warcast.
Creative victory.
Victory. There are some ideas I have running around in my head, which may or may not be out by the end of the year. I don't know. I don't think so, but I think January. Yeah, I think 15 years of doing the same thing. When I first started doing Warcast, I just thought, Blizzard will do their own, and then, nobody will do a podcast. But podcasting was so new. Who knew that this whole thing, that anybody could do it and it'll stick? And here's the reason why I thought that is because media in general has always been run by the companies that do their own thing, right? Forgetting things like Starlog Magazine, right? Indie publications and such. And so I didn't think of it that way. And that was short-sighted on my part. I just kept going. Except during Warlords of Draenor when I took some time off because I just hate that expansion. Still do.
And you definitely should not be podcasting when you don't enjoy it.
Who was somebody, I think it was on Discord, somebody posted recently that they started listening to some of the old Warlords of Draenor podcasts that I had done. And even then, I was like, even early in the expansion, I didn't like it. That's why I had to take some time off.
You definitely need the passion for what you're doing. Like if I wasn't feeling passionate, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, it's
well. Plus, that lack of passion comes through.
Yeah,
the listeners know.
Oh, I knew that. I knew that 100%. I'm doing the show. I'm having trouble coming up with notes, and I'm like, I can't do this in good faith. And the reason why I went to Infernal Bill and I said, could you please record some things because I'm ending this show because in my head I'm like, yeah. I thought to myself, well, this is it. I mean, the game is dead because nobody likes it. To this day, people say the worst expansion was either this or Cataclysm for different reasons. Warlords, I should say, not this, because I actually love BFA. Then I got an alpha or a friends and family invite to Legion. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I need to start podcasting again. Is the website still up?
All right. What is one thing that didn't go well? And if you could improve from that, or what have you learned from that so you can improve? Or
my website.
Websites can be a pain.
Yes.
I've tried to run one when I was in junior high and I hated it. So I give you props for anyone who's good at building websites.
Ali?
But how would you improve? Now you know about the software you're using.
Oh, I already said. I went to Frazley. Specifically, I went to Frazley's site to look at how he runs it.
He's a good one to learn from. And, get ideas from.
Here's the thing. WordPress was such an advancement years ago because everybody was either writing their own HTML or what. There was what the hell was it? There was a competitor. I don't know if
PHP Nuke, Joomla, movable type.
I think it was PHP. No, not PHP Nuke. It was like WordPress. It was very well written, but it didn't have a lot of bells and whistles, which is why people jumped to WordPress. I could see it in my head, but I don't know the name. Anyway, point is that WordPress, in my opinion, for podcasting specifically, has run its course. I don't think it's useful for just doing a place to put your episodes.
Yeah.
If you're doing something else, then I don't know because I haven't written a blog post in 10 years.
There's a reason that for me, when I started, I put my stuff into Libsyn and Fireside, things that were there. I mean, it costs for it.
Yeah.
But you're already showing up the media files anyway. And I know that I run podcast websites on WordPress, and
Yeah.
one small plugin messes up everything.
As far as podcasting itself goes, I think that what I learned to do is properly do compression.
I still got to learn that.
Yeah, compression is like a moving target.
And you also survived Catalina.
Yeah, no, I did not install it. I can't.
Okay.
I can't install Catalina because the driver for my scanner is 32-bit, because the plugins for Logic Pro 10 will not work. My printer driver is iffy. I can't upgrade to Catalina.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because it has a nice feature where when you need to put in your password, you can use your watch.
Yeah, I know.
Fancy.
I will upgrade when I can, but
Yeah.
I get this email from several of the plugin companies that I use for Logic Pro 10. They're like, don't upgrade to Catalina.
I went a little too hastily on upgrading to Catalina, and it's worked for me, thankfully. But like I'm also into some different software. That, if I was running Logic, I would not have been able to upgrade.
Everything else should work.
Yeah.
That I have. Xcode, Audacity. I don't use Audacity often, but when I do, there's 64-bit version.
And it's interesting that you mentioned 64-bit. So Ali, you did not achieve 64-bit, but you achieved 69 on Dungeon Fables.
I was wondering what you were going to do with
For
that
a second, I'm
segue.
like, oh, this is turning into something I didn't expect, and I'm drinking.
That's a different kind of show. Yeah, I guess there's a few things that didn't go well. I know when I did my episode 50 for the Sacking of Booty Bay, it went well.
That was good.
It was good, but afterwards, when it was all said and done, I realized that I would have liked to put the bosses in different order.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And that was just a totally retrospect kind of thing. It's no one did anything wrong. I got so many great creative bosses to kind of fit in there into one, raid that we made up, that it just afterwards I realized I probably could have put them in a more logical order. And it's one of those things that not a big deal. But
it was great.
It was still a good episode. So it's not it's not something that went totally wrong. It's just something I wish I would have done better. I think other than that, the other thing would be to improve my speed still. Actually, honestly, my speed's pretty good. What happens is I tend to end up getting not necessarily bored, easily distracted. Unless I'm in the groove when I'm working on show notes or editing, I get distracted because, I want to, talk to this friend, or I want to check on this Discord, or I'd
be the distraction.
You're never a bad distraction.
Totally
though.
understand.
And neither are you. They happen. But yeah, there's just so many little things. I'm like, or I want to go game because I had a long day or whatever. And so I need to work a little more on my focus when I'm doing show notes and editing, because that way maybe won't take quite as long, and then I will have more free time. I still need time management. There we go. Time management is something I still need to, I've gotten better, but still need to work on.
Totally relate. Frazley usually tells me, he's like, hey, how's your segment doing? And I'm like, haven't started.
That one, yeah.
Yay. I'm like, okay, remind me on Friday, and I'll start writing on the weekend. Friday comes around. It's like, oh, something came up. I can't do it. Remind me tomorrow. For December's, I still haven't. Well, I started it. I started it yesterday, but I haven't finished it.
And we're recording Sunday, so
it'll be done.
And I'd say that I'm probably the opposite, where I actually overthink how much time is going to be required. So every weekend, I'm always thinking, I'm not going to have enough time to get this stuff done.
I understand the procrastination or life cuts in the way, or for me, sometimes it's writer's block. It's like,
yes,
that
yes. I was listening to a podcast the other day where they said that the biggest problem that they have is writer's block.
And
for topics.
Sometimes I find my friend Rooster, or even talking to Frazley about what I'm trying to talk about, and then eventually something flow will come through. But I have to talk to someone else about it before it comes out.
Yeah. And you want to make sure that you're not repeating the same stuff that's happened, and you want to make each guest feel like they're enjoyed and that they're special. And yeah, like this episode, I mulled over the notes for a bit, and I think we got a good episode. So, but yeah.
And it's one of those things that it's nice to have those friends and fellow podcasters and whatever, people, content creators, to collaborate with and bounce ideas off of and talk to, because it does help clear the writer's block or helps you process things differently or whatever.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the great things about being a content creator in general.
I've been working on something and I was having a lot of trouble with it. I've been bouncing ideas off of Ali and Kara. And then I posted something and Renata actually sort of broke the ice, and one of the problems that I've been having solved a lot of problems. The thing is that I had it in my head. It was like, oh, I could do this. For whatever reason, I dismissed it in my head. And then when it came, when Renata typed it out, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, friends are great, especially to bounce ideas and get that writer's block out. Especially when they see it something completely different than you would have seen it.
Yeah.
And we're all friends here, so if you have any hints into any secrets you're planning to do as we go into the next decade, so you kind of bounce ideas off. It's just the four of us. There's not a Twitch chat and then the download afterwards.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Let's be honest, drinking's probably involved. Everyone's going to be drinking apple juice.
No, I would love to even hint at it, but I really can't.
You can't.
Allie's like, no, you can't. Don't.
He's got good things going on in his brain, though. Trust me, it's gonna be good.
I have two things. No, three. The one thing with Aloysius, which is probably going to be a once in a while thing. It's not going to be on a regular thing, I don't think. And then I have two other ideas, which have been bouncing around in my head for a while. A long while. I'm talking 5 years.
Nice. Ooh. And Allie, what about you? I'm
still kind of brainstorming some stuff, but I'm contemplating. Don't laugh at me. I'm contemplating maybe, and finding the time, again, back to that time management piece is going to be a tricky part, but I'm contemplating maybe just starting once a month, every couple weeks, maybe just doing it a really low key stream once in a while of just running through, just for fun, running through dungeons and stuff. And I've gone back and forth on this. I might not. We'll see.
I have still all the gear and hardware I need for streaming. I was literally hours from streaming. I have a green screen. I have everything. I have a you even forgot what this thing was called. I don't know. It's something that changes your voice. I forgot what it was. I decided not to. I just gave it up. I was like, no, I don't know if I want to do this, because this is me. I feel that playing games is a lot of fun. I feel that talking about games and having a good time is a lot of fun, but it's I couldn't coalesce all the good points of streaming into something that I would want to do.
Right. And see, that's why for me, it'd be super low key. I mean, Brandon's going to be in and out of the background. There's going to be dogs. I'm going to just super low key, I'll do old dungeons and raids and stuff, something, up my alley, something I want to do and comfortable with. And if people happen to show up in chat, then it'll be just chit-chatting with them. So very, very low key. No green screen, no fanciness, just me and low key. Yeah. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm still in the really early stages of brainstorming that.
Excellent. I love to hear about new streamers.
Pod Farm. That's what the thing is called. It's called Pod Farm.
That one thing.
So I'm not going to stream. I just don't think it's my thing.
Yeah, I think I streamed for one day and I'm like, yeah, no. But podcasting is fun.
Yes, and it's only an hour and you can do whatever you want with it. Which you can do with streaming too. But I just find that... No, I was going to say that you can't be creative, but you really can, because there's some very creative people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Twitch. And it's also very spontaneous and live, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, me too. I did a poem about chocolate.
I did a test stream. The idea was I was going to do retro games, so I was streaming Rogue Leader. It went really well. I just didn't feel it. When I wanted to do podcasting, I remember, because I was watching Steve Jobs on stage talking about podcasting. I just wanted to. I'm a Mac developer, so of course I'm watching WWDC. So I wanted to just get up, run out and just start podcasting right then and there. But I just don't have that with streaming.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you tell your 2010 self about where you are now?
So there's so much. A lot can happen in a decade.
Yes.
In 2010, I was in a very different place. It was not the lowest point of my life. I was just barely crawling out of a very bad pit. To nutshell it very vaguely, I was lucky to still be around to crawl out of the pit. So I would probably tell the 2010 version of myself that, believe it or not, it does get better. And it's okay to put yourself out there. It is scary as all get out when you first do it, but in the end, it's worth it. Because even just in the last year, the friends I have made, the life lessons, even just the level of confidence and self-esteem since 2010, before I started podcasting, was already way better than it was in 2010. But once I actually started podcasting and actually facing my fears and putting myself out there, it went higher. And now it's at closer to a healthier level. So that's probably what I would say is, it gets better, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And self-care is important. Never underestimate that.
Totally agree. I would say you're still doing that WoW podcast. Still, with no end in sight.
Dang right.
That's a good point. So, self-care is good. Yeah, because that 2010 is when I stopped going to the gym. Oh, you know what I would tell myself? Don't work so freaking hard.
Yeah, you should tell yourself that, eh?
Yeah, because I had a thing, and
you had a thing.
I had a thing, and
it was not good.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You gotta watch your go to the doctor and have your heart checked, please. Yeah, that would be what I would tell myself. Also, I would tell myself that Star Trek podcast idea that you had is actually going to work.
That's awesome.
I still have the notes in the next room. I have a notebook with the original notes of that show. I think I have the WoW Warcast notes somewhere too. Should put that on eBay for it.
Ooh,
I'd buy it.
You know what I was going to bring? I swear to God. So I want to show everybody something. Well, it doesn't work for audio. When I'm working on shows, these are my notes. I was going to give it to Ali, and I'm like, well, what is she going to do with this scrap of paper?
I would have framed it and put it on a wall right there.
Like whenever I have ideas for like titles, right? So like looking at this, just Schrodinger's beer, which was a title of an episode I did. Just, and then like timestamps of when I sneezed or, dumb things like that. And then it's got chili sauce on it right here. So
I legitimately would have framed that and put that on my wall.
I should have.
For so many reasons, I totally would have.
For some reason, I wrote "die in a fire." I don't know why.
Because everyone dies in a fire or dies in poop.
I think it had something. It had something to do with WoW. I'm sure. Yeah. How did I get onto this topic? I don't even remember. Yeah. No. Self-care is very important. That would be my number one thing that I would tell myself and everybody else. Don't stop going to the gym.
And while you're heading to the gym, if you stop by a Walmart, there are some new boxes there. So Pete alerted me to this.
Are you talking about kitty litter boxes?
Why
are you talking about kitty litter boxes? What does that have to do with anything, Frazley?
Not kitty litter. I mean, some players may think that these new boxes are crap, but IC Veins has found that there are new retail WoW boxes for starting players. They are for new accounts only. There's new box art. All expansions up to BFA. So BFA is still a standalone purchase, but all the others are for the sub fee, and the box is $15 and gives you game time. And I was going to do a discussion on BFA, except our amazing community jumped up when I said, hey, I wanted to know, what advice would you give a new player to World of Warcraft? And you surprised me with a huge amount of great feedback. So for the 50th anniversary, and all the new players that we're going to have in the new decade, let's go through all these questions that we got from Twitter, Discord, and Facebook.
So we have Tevrudin Dawnspear, I apologize if I said that wrong, says, take your time. You can only go through the leveling experience for the first time once.
Yes.
I fully agree with that. Perfect No Man. Take your time. Enjoy the sights, the lore, the game has to offer. You can only experience it once. Save the boost for when you are ready to play with your friends.
Seth Putrillo said, take your time, enjoy the journey to 120, see different places in Azeroth, explore. Remember how I said, like, it's very difficult for me to talk about Star Trek from the point of view of somebody who's never watched it before? It's very difficult for me to look at WoW from the point of view of somebody who's never played it before. I don't know if new players feel the same way. It would be very interesting to get, like, a new player and talk to them and say, oh, so how do you feel about this?
Yeah.
WoW is so new in many aspects.
Anyone listening, if you're a new player to World of Warcraft, let Michael or I know. I think that would be awesome to hear that perspective. Space Bard says, put Trey Chat on another tab. Absolutely.
I love reading trade chat.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how classic, just all they did was they replaced the word Bush with Trump, and it was the exact
pretty
same.
much.
Basically.
Spacebar says, don't feel bad about putting people on ignore. That's correct. And there are ignore list add-ons to actually expire your ignore after 30 days. Because after 30 days, that person's probably stopped playing if they're an asshole that you're talking with. There was somebody that was really mean to me recently, so I
Frazley, I swear it wasn't me rubbing the invincible mount in your face. Okay.
No.
Emma.
And Spacebar says, loot everything. Buy the biggest bags you can afford. So that would also mean roll Vampira, because they can now get 8 additional bag slots. Mm-hmm. I added that. Take 2 gathering professions until you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah. Tyramus says, deep breaths, there's no rush. Pick a direction, go until you're tired. Pick another direction, repeat. You'll find something you'll enjoy. Wowhead is your friend.
Yes, it is.
And it's so true, because when you first start off, like, I remember when I started Burning Crusade, most of my friends were already at level cap. And so I felt like I had to rush and meet up with them. But now that I go back and look at what lore and stories and everything I missed, like, I wish I had slowed down. There's a lot of people in all these that are saying that, and I completely agree.
to say,
don't forget to look
the
up.
way I played back in the day when I played Classic, that's how I played. I had tons of people at max level at 60, and I was at 34 for a very long time. And then I remember Burning Crusade came out, and they all rushed to get max level. And by the time Lich King came out, I was just heading into Burning Crusade. I take a long time to play and level.
Oh, me too. I'm still got to finish Kingdom Hearts 3, so
I'm stuck on 2. Noctic, take the time to read the quest dialogue instead of mindless picking up quests and doing them as fast as possible. Get to know the world around you. Azeroth is an interesting place. I say for your first time playing, definitely, but there is add-ons that will help for your new characters' alts that you've already done the story if you don't want to deal with it again. There's ones that you can skip it, and there's also an add-on that makes it into a story mode.
Yes. And Poster responded to this advice and said, cannot support. I still don't read quests. Ruth Ben 78 said, me neither. Colby Panda says, OMG, that reminded me of this video regarding NPCs. It's the NPCs episode 1. So I have a link in the show notes to it. It is hilarious. That was the first one of my favorite of their videos.
Those are funny.
And like this one was like, skip. Yeah, so it's not a long video. The same as like when you skip quest text, it's not long.
Navox says, buy a 12-button mouse and a gaming keypad like the Tartarus. I don't have a gaming keypad, but let me tell you something. That 12-button mouse, I wish I had that in 2004. It would have saved me a lot of trouble, because I just could not stand that you had so much to do. I couldn't get used to like control this and alt that. I would have loved to have a 12-button mouse 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I think back then they were just working on making them reliable. Like I had an MX510 from Logitech that finally died in 2016. And I got that in 2005.
I still have mine. I can't show it, but 10, I've had it for years.
I got the World of Warcraft Cataclysm mouse.
Oh,
It's my-
nice.
I do not have.
That's my second one, and I will fully admit I still point and click my spells with the mouse instead of. I have these buttons. I think I use 2 buttons. One that switches my bar up and down so I can click on spells, and the one that's in the number 4 slot because that's my like one hit dot that I put on all the enemies when people are like killing them really quickly. It's like I'll dot it so I get credit.
I have to look up that Tartarus thing.
It's probably big on the inside.
I see.
Navox does know his stuff.
And speaking of T-names, Torloff says, not entirely sure how to answer this. Our first advice to a new player to World of Warcraft would be to stick to questing and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just to go back, and now I'm looking at the Tartarus keypad. I had something like this. I had the Logitech MX. It was the one that I used on the left hand. I used it because at the time, 12-button mice didn't exist. So once I got the 12-button mouse, I didn't need the keypad anymore. But other people may feel differently.
This is my Razor. This looks incredible.
Yeah. Don't let the colors fool you.
So Flint McKinnis says, don't read anything from outside sources. Just play what speaks to you and follow that tug of curiosity as you move through Azeroth. The outside sources are really good still, but I agree. Like, take the time to enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and do, like, follow that tug of curiosity. And if that tug of curiosity takes you to outside sources, then follow it. Like, if there's a certain storyline that you do want to know more about, then
I say
go for
read
it.
the books. The books have so much lore of understanding these characters, and some of them I wouldn't have known if I didn't read the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I definitely, like, I'm glad I took time in game first before I touched the books. Because I think because of that, I appreciated the books and those outside sources even more.
And I could see it from the perspective of, like, everyone has the guide on how to perfectly play the game and stuff like that, or to go here. Even in Classic, one reason that, like Michael said earlier, taking the time, I take time in Classic. I try not to go to Wildhead too much. There's been times recently that I've gone to Wildhead because I could not find out where that stupid quest is to turn stuff in.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to brutal the name here. I'm sorry. Ravestave Jane? Explore and take your time. When I started playing, I was literally checking out every nook and cranny. And I think taking my time really solidified my love for my main. There's so much more to WoW besides the end game.
That's true. KFN says, take your time. Don't rush through the quests and zones. Read the quests, listen to the NPCs. The lore is half the fun. That's true.
Yeah. Skylance is saying Warcraft 3 is a lot of fun. There's a lot of lore. So good thing that it's coming out soon. And if you buy the Reforged edition of Warcraft 3, you get a meat wagon.
Pretty fun. Just chuck meat everywhere.
Yes. I was hoping you could chuck gnomes as a horde person. But
I thought it was
doesn't
punting
work.
gnomes.
Well, that too, but I mean, I've not been to the gym, so I'm not able to move my legs. So, Lore Master Marwin says, "Wowhead is your friend.
Yep.
There is no bad class. Don't, under any circumstances, use your boost without knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Death Knights are unlocked at level 55 and start at 55. So, Demon Hunters are unlocked at level 70 and start at level 98 for now.
For
That's
now,
gonna
I was
change.
going to say for now.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes."
Chaotic Goodish says, find a good guild and friends to play with. Pace yourself. Do not let the game take over your life. Do what makes you happy and take a break if you're getting burned out. It's okay to unsub if you need to. And I think Webley in chat said that as well. If you don't get burned out, it's not worth it. Take a break.
I loved WoW for many years because I was feeling burnt out. And I don't think I would be here if I had kept playing because back then I wasn't doing an outlet to make it fun. It wasn't fun at a certain point. Then we were going up against Ragnaros. It's the same core hounds. More dots.
More dots.
More dots.
Handle it.
Now, left side. Handle it.
Come on, figure out what matters to you and go for it. Questing, collecting, PvP, raiding, try it all, but don't feel too pressure into what doesn't work for you. Try to do what does.
Yeah.
It's true. Rika says, take your time and don't let words get to you. There's always a difference between helpful critiques and rudeness.
Yep.
Yeah. Sadly, in any game, there are rude people and it's unavoidable, but don't let them get to you. Make friends, learn together, ignore the haters, and have fun.
Yeah, the reason why I cursed earlier is I was remembering while I was working on getting that Alterac Valley Stormpike mount, which I finally got, but while I was working on that,
Nice, congrats.
somebody in Raid Chat was being a butthole, and it was just like, so I ignored them. Ben Jack Shaw said, just play and find stuff for yourselves as you level, ignore all of the in-game stuff, and ironically, what people advise.
Yeah. RJ says, the game gives you too much to do on purpose. Do not feel like you need to do all of it, because that's impossible. Take your time, do what's fun. If you're bad with managing time, set a timer every day. It'll still be there tomorrow. Yes. Also, add-ons are a thing.
Yes.
Also, if it feels like you're using the game to escape to the point where real-life duties are being neglected, you might want to check into seeing a doctor about depression.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Gwen Darkis, don't feel like you need to keep up with the crowd. Make a tune you can relate to and have many adventures.
Posty said that this is my MO too. Going into Shadowlands, you'll be able to make the character look more like what you want it to be. So, I mean, making it feel like who you are. Like, I like being short and being blue-haired. And in fact, I'll be having blue hair at some point soon.
I can't wait.
Nice.
And I did the same thing. My human warlock is my mental person that I wanted to be. It was a choice of a mage or a warlock, and a warlock won because I'm apparently evil deep down.
No, you're just misunderstood.
Probably. But I started collecting souls at a young age. I think I have some papers from friends saying they gave me their souls. So it really was calling out to me.
The Scarlet Pimpernel says, enjoy the story as you level and don't sign your soul away to anyone.
Except...
Especially
Okay, no, I added that one.
meaning sign your soul over to me. And FYI, I tell my whole raid team, if they accept my summon or eat one of my cookies or use a soul stone, they're giving me some of their soul. But don't worry, I'll give them a synthetic soul so they won't know that it's missing.
The cookies are good, but I wish I had learned about that before I signed over my soul to Emma. But
Yeah.
It's too late now. Contracts, it's like those EULAs that we signed for all stuff and Battle.net updates.
It was in the fine print. He just missed reading it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty
Okay. Logarithm, the Houndmaster says, don't stand in the fire.
Yep.
And then Posty said, unless your feet are cold. And then Logarithm responded, says, does not apply to frost mages or DK. And Secret Leak says, my feet are always cold, so fire seems great. And then Neltharian999 said, but I enjoy giving people the stood in the fire achievement.
I see what you did there.
And Posty said, well, sometimes my feet get cold.
Jared says, if any activity in the game starts to feel like a chore, stop doing it immediately. Do what makes you happy and is fun. Not what others tell you is the right way to play. You should be excited to log in, not wishing you could do something else.
Marty, wait until Shadowlands. Smiley face with the
Oh,
tongue.
it's going to be so good.
I think there is a lot of truth to that, though. I mean, because you are going to get a new player experience. I mean, we want revenue now, of course. Blizzard, please don't get mad at us for suggesting people don't sub to WoW.
Mateo says, play a few classes and races to 20. It only takes a few hours each. Until you find one you connect to, and keep wowhead.com in your bookmarks so you can look up quest and class information when you need it. Also, a fun podcast to listen to while not playing.
Yeah, and I know quite a few podcasts to listen to while not playing. What a Warcast,
Few.
Dungeon Fables,
FrazlCast.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of a fun podcast to listen to, merely a setbacks. Jared says, believe in yourself, and also just wait for 9.0 in your goose.
What? Solid 8 says, make several characters out of the gate and try them all out for a few levels. That way you can find out one that fits you. Yes.
Yes.
Unshackled Fury. Listen to Unshackled Fury.
I agree with that.
You know, not wrong.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. It's a great show.
Tom says, don't roll Horde. True. Don't roll a Gnome. Not going to say anything about that.
True.
Smart move.
Marty responded, and especially don't roll a Horde Gnome, which you can't do anyway. Pete responded, "You mean goblins?" And Marty replied, "No." Flame Flash responded, "Volpera." Volperas are weird. I don't know. I don't know how they fit. I don't know.
Cute.
They're cool though. I like them.
Keep in mind, Mike, that you haven't really done much Horde side.
No, I have.
Yeah.
True.
So you haven't had a chance to form that connection with Volpera yet.
I never will.
And right now we've been helping the 7th Legion burn all the Volpera caravans. So of course we would. Lightforged Elnaris said the best website for resources are Wowhead, wow-professions.com, and the Undermine Journal. Definitely true. And the Undermine Journal, all of the sites I definitely recommend supporting. Like Wowhead, you can get some cool stuff. And there's no ads. Undermine Journal can give you access to stuff. Find your favorite way to play PvP, PvE, and RP. You don't need to accept every guild invite you come across. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
But do find people who are able to answer questions for you kindly.
Yeah, I think that's one of my best experience when I first started playing and having someone show me the ropes because I was completely lost.
Yeah, for sure. DK Rice says log into Classic and ignore retail till Shadowlands.
Getting a lot of that.
Marn, yes, it takes a long time to hit max levels for some classes, not all. Go at your own pace. Warcraft is about the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mary Lee Scarlett says, save your money at the beginning, resist spending.
Oh,
That's absolutely true. I was called elitist in my classic guild because I actually said that. Like, but it's true.
Especially
I
in
could have
Classic.
Especially
so
in
much
classic.
gold right now.
Save your money. I know. It was because of the fact that I saved my money and knew, because I've been playing for 15 years, what to buy and what not to buy, like what spells to get, like what am I going to do with dampen magic? And so from saving all that money, I was able to buy my mount.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah. Don't vendor any green gear you don't need. Research and auction it. Yeah, but not all of it.
It's not going so well anymore.
No, it's not.
It was better when Transmog wasn't there because I felt green sold a lot better then.
Yes, because now it's in Classic, it's clearly about the stats. If you don't have a green that has stats, nobody's going to buy it. Have fun. Don't try to beat the clock on leveling. This is your brand new world. Take time to get to know it and enjoy the journey.
yes.
Yep.
Kraz says, try a little bit of everything. You never know if you're not going to like a game feature unless you try it. And there's tons of WoW info on the internet that's not too hard to find. There actually were times I tried to find for a different game, and World of Warcraft pops up for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Keo-san, as a vet player that picked up Classic, don't assume people know basic things. I've taught myself and asked questions to clarify. There's many new people, especially on Classic side, that are noobs. And I have to stop and not give a sarcastic answer because they don't generally know.
Mm-hmm. Flame Flash says, to answer honestly, though, things I wish I'd have been told as a noob. 1. The server choice matters, yes. What made you fall in love with the game? Choose a server that is active with that. You see, but that's not always easy to find, though. I just found myself on Whisperwind, and I don't even remember why. Like way back in vanilla. Now it's relatively easy to find population, which is more Horde, which is more Alliance, which is more balanced, which has a better economy, that sort of thing. Avoid alting. Seriously, get that one character to max before you start alting, unless you're only alting with the purpose of experimenting with all the classes. Don't get attached to any one character yet, though, because if you realize you've goofed at level cap with your server choice, you're only out one move until you find your server home rather than out 12 moves. That's true. Don't stress about professions unless there's something really cool you want from a certain profession. They're pretty useless at this point as far as character. I'm assuming he's talking about BFA because in the Classic, the professions are very relevant. If you want one, go for the fun factor, not the min-max factor.
Engineering.
Yeah. Accept random G invites. It's funny. Somebody just said don't.
Yeah.
Well, which is interesting because it shows there's just so many different ways to approach the game,
find
which is awesome.
Random G invites are not bad. It's just if you find the guild is toxic or it's not the right fit, don't be afraid to quit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. One of the best guilds I was ever in was a random guild invite in EverQuest 2. was like, would you like to join this guild? I'm like, no, screw it. Why not? The nicest people. That happens. All right, he says, accept random G invites. Given you're off leveling as a first-time player, go ahead and accept that random invite that comes through. You may just find new friends, and if not, at least you're learning more about your server choice, so you can either all stop and re-roll on another server or go full tilt. I want to amend that. Check the name of the guild first, because if it's...
I can tell you a lot.
Yeah, I can tell you a
But
lot.
not always. Not always.
You know, if it's... God, I shouldn't even say it, so I won't. But, you know, just check the guild name. Find communities. No, not the communities in game, but the online ones. There are a lot of pet fanatics out there, our peers, machinima makers, artists, interacting outside of the game to celebrate others' enjoyment and let them celebrate yours.
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
Someone who I found through the podcast community was Spaz Weston, who likes collecting mounts. And Spaz says, don't be afraid to delete tunes you don't like. If you play a class and feel like it's not great, don't be afraid to delete it. Don't worry about current content. Go at your own pace. This Discord message is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. And it's okay to finish the zone if you want the story and the quest are gray.
True.
That's very true.
And if you don't get the Raid Shadow Legends, they're one of the ones that advertises on so many different things. I think they actually advertised on a WoW podcast. Or no, there's maybe another one, but yeah.
What are they, a guild? I've never heard of them.
They're a mobile game, but like you see all these...
I have seen that. Yes.
When I'm not podcasting on FrazlCast, I love playing Raid Shadow Legends.
No, you don't.
Played it. Yeah.
No, you don't. Light Song says, in general, don't be a jerk to your fellow players. They are on the same world as you. Just don't be a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Zcrolink, ask me a few things or questions. Always happy to help a fellow player. Also, literally, don't ask any question in trade chat.
Yes.
We'll probably get you flying into Northrend at level 20 because you asked where the riding trainer was.
It's entirely possible.
It will be possible soon.
Allie, you should read this one.
Nope, it's your color.
Okay. Brandon, also Mr. Allie says, take your time and enjoy the journey and always look up. That's true.
Yeah, always.
Who says that all the time?
I don't know.
That'd be me.
Kara says, turn on the sounds and music, put on headphones, and let yourself really get immersed. Read the quest text. Don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. Assuming the new person is getting their advice from this question and that they have a great community to help them out without judgment. Yeah, so don't ask in trade chat, but definitely ask in things like the World of Warcast Discord, the Lagging Balls, the Convert to Raid.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them, just not trade chat.
Just not trade chat. Whispers of War, which is another great show, says don't roll need on everything when you're in a group.
It's so true.
Marty, don't upset the gnomes. It's simply not worth it. Punt Frazley.
That's true. Don't upset us.
Michael of the Genome Project says, play the game how you want to play it. Funny. So if you want to roll neat on everything, go ahead. No, don't do
only
that.
hunters do that.
Don't worry about what others are saying / doing. If you're enjoying the game, playing it your way, then you are winning. But you see, here's the thing. In Classic, it's a whole different story. You can get away with things when you're in retail, but you really can't in Classic.
Yeah, and you run into them. I group with somebody, and I ran into him in a dungeon later on.
Classic servers are a closed community. You're not server sharing. So whatever you do has repercussions on you. But the thing is that people were talking about that up until the Classic was released. It's like, your reputation is very important. I played every day and never saw anybody with a bad reputation. A couple of people said, oh, so-and-so rolled need on something when they shouldn't have. But you hear, and I said this on the forums, on the WoW Classic forums, they said, the whole story about your reputation and getting blacklisted, you have to be an exceptional jerk for that to stick. Because what happens is it sticks for 5 minutes and then everybody forgets about it.
I remember back in the day, yes, I'm going there. Back in the day, my server was very small, low pop, and people did have a blacklist where they made sure everyone knows, don't talk to this person. And it lasted for months until they either got kicked from game or they stopped playing because they were blacklisted from every raid group and no one wanted to be associated with them.
Yep.
So it can happen eventually.
It can.
Yeah.
But you have to be like a repeat offender.
Or ninja loot on a stream and then have Icy Veins report on that story.
Let me talk a little bit about that. As somebody who used to raid back in vanilla, that Staff of Dominance is not that big of a deal. Like, who cares? No, seriously, because if people are pugging Molten Core, who cares? Who cares?
For me, it's the aspect of it, and it's also what he said afterwards, that he said that random players are shit. And I'm like, that attitude is beyond him. If 15 years ago I would have said he did what? That's horrible. That's that. Now it's like, what happens at 8:00 on my server? People are like, we're pugging Molten Core at 9 p.m. Just sign up. Just whisper me and we'll give you an invite. So who cares if Staff of Dominance was ninja looted? You'll get it again. That's just my opinion. It's overblown is what I'm saying. I can get that. Kai Vamp says Retail Classic because in both, my advice is just to have fun.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah.
Trigonometry says this is advice for new players to World of Warcraft Classic. Take your time. Regardless of what you may have heard, the game does not start at maximum level. Play whatever class and spec you want, and choose a guild who respects your wishes. Explore the world.
Colby Panda. Don't jump through portals. It causes acne. #Warcraft.
But I like portals.
I'm trying to figure out which portal he's been playing. Maybe Portal Roulette?
I don't know. Tink says quest in zones a few levels below. Don't follow one zone to the next logical zone. Find lower zones to make mob killing easy and quest completion easy, making chunks of XP faster. Except if you do that, then you don't get as much XP.
That is true.
I remember, once again, back in the day, one reason why I didn't level fast is because all my quests were gray and I got no XP. But that was back in the day. I don't know about now. I haven't played an alt for a while.
No.
Donald Prince says upgrade on heirlooms is 85,000 gold. So do yourself a favor. If you want to max out all your heirlooms, just spend money on a WoW token and treat yourself to the best. Squish is coming, so who knows how expensive the things will be after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I say, now that we're at this portion of it, take your time, as everyone else has said, find what you have fun with and explore it further. There's just so many different ways to play this game and different aspects to enjoy. Explore them all and see what you like. And also, I kind of said this earlier, if you are a story person, dive in. The lore of Warcraft, it's rich and deep, and it is definitely something that adds to the quality of the game, if you like lore, that is. Also, get involved in the community and find friends you enjoy playing with. When I first started, yes, I joined a guild with my, offline friends who got me into the game in the first place, but they were all at level cap. And I was just by myself, not knowing what I was doing. It was my first MMO, and I wasn't having fun. I eventually found a guild who, would go and do things with me and kind of teach me, and I had a lot of fun with them, and I felt bad for leaving my friend's guild, but I wasn't having fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So get involved. Find the friends. Get involved with the community. I wish I had gotten involved sooner because it's a great community, and I spent too many years lurking in the shadows, listening to podcasts and not actually responding to them, except in my own head. So don't hesitate. Get involved.
Yeah. And podcasters love hearing feedback. Like tonight, hearing all this feedback from all of you, it's amazing. So definitely reach out to us because we'll talk. We like talking.
So, Lady Emma. Yay, me. I will emphasize hugely on friends. It doesn't have to be your friends who get you into the game and all that, but make a friend in game. And if you're a friend who's already max level and all that, get them to start an alt to follow you. You should be the one leading them because they get to relive the new experience through your eyes as you're going through. And if you have questions, ask them and they can kind of help you. I'm a social player. I think what's made me stay in World of Warcraft all these years is the friends and the community. Don't be a poo head and be mean to others, please. That's my biggest thing. Don't be a poo head.
All right, I said don't get sucked in, but enjoy the journey. What I mean by that, when I first started playing, way back, and I was doing raiding, and it was a big deal, trademark, I got sucked in, and I shouldn't have done that because, well, it's easy. They always say that hindsight is 20/20. But WoW was new and progressing was new and being able to talk about it and brag about it and being the first person with T3 like I was, it was a big deal. But the sacrifice was that I didn't do as much as I wanted to in the real world. And at the same time, though, because it was so new and so few people were raiding, that you were one of the few people that actually got to see it. And so it's different now. So I would say today, don't sacrifice the real world for that. It was a different time back in 2004. And I also wrote, listen to Dungeon Fables and FrazlCast.
Both amazing show, but I think you missed one.
Yeah, you missed one. Yeah.
What did I miss?
You missed the World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Which was
you should definitely.
I see
which was one of my very first ones. It was that one and All Things Azeroth. I think those were the two first ones way back in the day, going through all the podcasts. They were the only World of Warcraft ones that I could find. And it's grown from there for the list. It's huge. Yeah.
It's a little bit.
Yeah, I think Ro at one point said there's like 90 podcasts that cover Blizzard. So I tell somebody if you don't listen to all my stuff, I don't blame you. I'm backlogged.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
There's so many great ones. It's hard to keep up with them all.
Yeah,
but I definitely World of Warcast was my first. I tell everyone that, and then that led me to TavernCast.
Oh, I remember TavernCast.
We be friends. Why can't we?
So
what?
They're really and both of them are still around. TavernCast took a 4-year break, but we're not going to talk about that. They're back. It's great. But yeah, there really are just so many fantastic shows out there. So
I think one of my favorites, which is not continued anymore, it was Skullnet's World Less Travel.
Yes.
That was one of my favorites. He did an amazing job on that. The sound bites, the lore, everything. And it made me go hunt out these places that he mentioned in game. So that one I always tell people, if you can still find that podcast, listen to it, especially if you're playing Classic.
Another podcast that I listened to was Chris of MMO Reporter. And he had a song that would start out, he says, it's about the journey, not the end. And it always makes me remind, WoW is a journey. And there's so many things on it. And I mean, I'm wondering why I like the shows. I can relive some of my experiences through WoW that happened. Definitely find ways to plug yourself into the community, because without that, I never would have found podcasting. And through one of the communities I found, I started my creative outlet. And I would encourage you to find what interests you and do something creative with that. So I podcast and stream, and it has enriched my enjoyment of the game in so many ways. Well, now that we've reached the end of here, it's... Oh, no. Well, okay, one thing we got to do before we go. So, Michael, you are also the head of This Week in Trek.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
A Star Trek podcast.
Yes, I am.
So, Talonroyd gave me an idea that what if, instead of just doing World of Warcraft trivia, which we're known when Emma's on here.
I was so ready for Warcraft trivia. I was like, yes, bring it on. I'm taking him down.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is going to go horribly.
So I found some questions from triviaplaying.com that I don't know if they're right or wrong on the facts. So I'm just going off what they said. So
I'll tell you if they're right or wrong.
First question. Data's cat was named what in Star Trek Next Generation?
Spot.
That is correct. I'm sorry, I saw it and it was like, cat. Okay, I have to go with that one. All right. Who was the director for Star Trek, the movie 3 and 4?
Ali?
I don't know.
Leonard Nimoy.
That is correct. Okay, this one's probably going to stump both of you. In my opinion, it would stump me. Okay, what is Mr. Spock's normal heartbeat?
Normal. Oh, I know it's low. No, I think it's high. No, now I think about it. I don't know exactly. I remember, isn't it like 130 or something?
Higher.
140?
147.
Higher.
147. I know it's high. I don't know exactly. It's high.
It has one of my favorite numbers in it that I mentioned earlier.
169.
Well, we got Frazley to say 69. Yeah, we did. Wow. No, Frazley, that's not my favorite number. I got you guys to say it earlier when I said it was correct.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
I know it's high.
You guys both give up?
Very high.
Allie?
Yeah.
269.
You're closer, but lower.
200.
Higher.
225.
Higher.
247.
Very close, but lower.
46.
Lower.
240.
Higher.
Oh, dear God. 242.
Yay! Allie got it.
Okay. Yay, Allie. Nice.
Okay. That happened.
42 is my answers to everything. Everyone asks me, it's like, I have a question. It's
okay.
42. Just add the 2 in front of it, and you got 42, you know.
Okay.
I got a sympathy point. Woo!
Okay.
Bonus question. Skyline says, what is the name of the episode where everyone, Dr. Beverly Crusher Nose, starts disappearing off the Enterprise?
Remember Me? I think it was that one.
Okay, I'll give you that point.
All right. What was used as Dr. McCoy's medical scanner in Star Trek?
Pepper shaker.
Close, but no.
Salt shaker.
Yeah.
It was a set. It was a set.
Well, this one just said salt shaker, so.
Yeah, it was both. It was it was the same thing. They just had different holes on it, which nobody saw anyway. They just used it for the shape.
Awesome.
Okay, what TV show ran for 78 episodes before it was scrapped?
Allie.
Is it the animated series?
The answer is Star Trek.
Star.
Hey, Allie!
Yay, more sympathy points. Like I said in chat, I really enjoy Star Trek. Horrible at Star Trek trivia.
Frazley just gave me this at the last second and gave me a link, so blame him.
Yeah, it's my fault.
No, it's good. Let's do this.
I would just gone with the World of Warcraft ones that I normally do, but apparently he wants to throw me in a loop of other things.
It's a good thing to do that.
Yeah. In the cartoon version of Star Trek, who voiced Mr. Spock?
Was it William Shatner?
Who plays Mr. Spock?
I don't know.
Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, Leonard
Yeah.
Nimoy. Why did I think... Didn't William Shatner do the voices for multiple characters?
No, James Doohan did.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
And Ted Knight did one voice.
Okay.
All right.
That was a really bad answer. I don't know why I said William Shatner.
It made my night.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so glad I can make your night with my horribleness.
On the first Star Trek movie, who was the science advisor?
Okay, I'm laughing. I as a matter of fact, it's in the next room. Okay, there's a podcast I listen to called Inglorious Trexperts, and they specifically couldn't pronounce the guy's name, so they constantly referred to this actress Von Puttermaker. Oh no! Wait, no! I'm thinking of TOS. I'm thinking, the science advisor. Oh, it was Asimov, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
No, I would say, yeah. See, I had TOS on the brain. It was Isaac Asimov.
All right, next question. Which Star Trek character did not appear in the cartoon version?
Really? He did write an episode, though.
I don't know if I know. McCoy? No, McCoy was in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know.
Chekhov.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I knew that.
All right, so I'm going to brutally say this one. Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek had two racial ideas. Spock's ears and what?
Had two what?
Oh, no, radical ideas. Sorry.
Radical ideas.
I can read. No, I cannot read, but that's That's all right. I'm special.
Radical. Well, Spock's ears. Well, and there are a few.
But at that time period.
Well, having a diverse bridge was one thing that he wanted to do. He had a Japanese man at the helm. He had an African-American woman at communications. Later, he had a Russian in navigation, which were like for 1966, that was a big deal.
Number 1 was female.
Yes, that's right. Number 1 was female. Yes.
I'm going to give that to Ali because it's having a woman second in command.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, that does kind of go along with the diverse bridge thing, though.
No, but the reason why I didn't think of it is because number 1 was only used in the pilot, which was never aired, except when they split it into Menagerie Part 1 and 2. That's why I wasn't thinking of that. But yeah, Allie's right on that one.
Yep. So, Frazley, the score is?
Ali with 4 and Star Mike with 7.
And 3 of my points were sympathy points.
But the good thing is, on this show, we don't give out prizes other than our love and that
hugs.
We had a good time. And hugs, yes.
And lock
I will
cookies.
take all the
Emma's
hugs.
lock cookies.
Careful with the lock cookies.
Don't take them.
Yeah.
She'll steal your soul.
So before Emma can tempt you away, thank you all for joining me on FrazlCast tonight. So where can we find you on the interspace webs? We'll start with Ali.
So you can find me on Twitter at Ali_K or my show Dungeon Fables at Dungeon Fables. You can also find it at dungeonfables.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also hear me every week on All Things Azeroth.
Star Mike on Twitter, worldofwarcast.com, thisweekintrek.com. Discord would be like discord.thisweekintrek.com or worldofwarcast.com. Takes you to the same place.
And great communities to join if you're.
It's a lot of fun. Yes, we have a lot of awesome people in there.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at lady_Emma, or you can probably hear me at the last Thursday or first Monday of the month podcast of FrazlCast.
Yes.
Because I've just made my way a nice little comfy seat that Frazley seems he can't get rid of me.
It's fun. I mean, and those cookies, I need those cookies every month.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do it.
It's actually, you know what's funny that you mentioned that? Is I go see my my grandfather every week and I bring him muffins. And I wasn't there last week and he got really upset because he didn't get my muffins. So, yeah, once you start eating one of my baked goods, you can't stop.
And if you don't want Emma's muffins, I know the Muffin Man. He lives in Ironforge.
You know the Muffin Man?
I know the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man.
Beam me up, Chromie.
Activating customized Orchestrate transporter.
Thank you, Chromie. So Webley in Twitch chat thought that I said Nomi, but I wouldn't trust Nomi to teleport me, lest I burn up like all the food Nomi's cooked. Oh, all those fat food in Legion. Oh, and I heard it was even worse in Mr. Pandaria. Well, I am back in my home of Ironforge until we one day reclaim Nomergon.
Wow, I'm a gnome.
So as it's nearing the end of November, it's time for us to look into what December holds for us.
Let's see what the wondrous, mysterious Skillworks site foretells of the upcoming events in Azeroth.
Thank you for joining us on Kilrug's site. The upcoming events for December in World of Warcraft. Darkmoon Fair starts December 1st to the 7th. Line your mounts up right here. On your mark, get set, go! Take the challenge on the real race. Go around the course quickly as possible. Watch out for traps and use those speed boosts. You don't need to hit every banner, just go through the checkpoints. There are 4 possible mounts you can use for this race, 7 achievements depending on which mount you use, and 4 of them will give you a toy. Try to win the race in 11 tolls on each mount and you will be rewarded with all. Good luck, have lots of fun, there's many more achievements, mounts, pets, and transmog to collect. December micro holidays coming up. Fireworks celebration. December 31st starts 6 p.m. Every hour on the hour will be a show of fireworks to celebrate the new year in the capital city. I also heard a rumor that the guards in Booty Bay aren't enforcing the rules in town. Maybe someone would like to start the new year PvPing Brawl. The weekly bonus event for December is Pet Battle Bonus Event December 3rd to the 9th. Triple the XP for a pet battle. The quest is to win 5 PvP pet battle for Ultimate Pet Battle Stone. Time Walking Dungeon event December 10th to the 16th will be Cataclysm, need to be level 86 or higher. Finish 5 Time Walking Dungeon rewards Azeroth. Time Warp badges for the currency in the game. You can find the vendor in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. Arena Skirmish bonus event December 17th to 23rd. 50% more honor reward. Win 10 arena matches, rewards Azeroth and Conquest. World Quest event December 24th to 30th. You get 50% more rep doing World Quest. Quest is to complete 20 World Quests and rewards Azeroth. Time Walking Dungeon event December 31st to January 6th. Pandaria needs to be level 91 or higher. Finish 5 Time Walking Dungeon rewards Azeroth, Time Warp badges, and currency for the in-game stuff. You can find the vendor at the Celestial Court in the Timeless Isle. December main holiday. Wandering Festival is on December 7th this year. It takes place in Kasran Wilds on Pandaria. If you can witness it before the festival starts and or be there to watch it end, you can get an achievement. The Wanderers, Dreamers, and you. There's also a special pet that you can only catch while this event is going on, the Wanderers Festival Hatchling. So come and attend the event and hear what the Wandering Herald has to say. Also, you need to talk to him for the achievement. Feast of Wintervale starts December 16th to January 2nd. This holiday is packed full of things to do. Go to Ironforge for the Alliance and Orgrimmar for the Horde to start your fun. Also, your garrison has some fun quest and decoration that can be put up. On December 25th to January 2nd, you can pick up your present underneath the Wintervale tree, which contains many toys, food items, and more. In snow globes around Azeroth contains a Globe Yeti battle pet. One spawns every 30 minutes, but only one will spawn a time, so good luck on getting yours. By doing all your garrison quests, you can buy Savage Gift with the Merry Supplies, which has a rare chance to drop the mount minion of Grumpus Mount. Also, everyone's favorite quest, you're a mean one. Go slay the abominable Grinchy, who has stolen the treats. When you hand in the quest, you get a stolen present, which may contain many of the past gifts, plus a lump of coal, which is a battle pet, Lumpy. Some of the old raid bosses also have decorated their places for the holidays, and some will drop red or green winter hats, so go check them out. There's many more things about this event, but I believe we have run out of time. Check these amazing events out for yourself. This is all for Kilrog's site, and good night.
Thank you, Emma. Well, now it's time for something else.
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome. Let's do that. So Valenhow posted in the Rubber Chickens Discord, and Kara brought it to my attention. It's a video called Warcraft 3 Reforged Alternate Cutscenes. It's by Mad IT Drakes, full of puns and made me laugh so hard. And I was browsing Reddit on my phone when I saw a post for r-wow where Zangetsu Tenshu posted a screenshot of Lion's Pride Inn in Minecraft. This looks amazing. I just hope a creeper doesn't come along and blow it up. And then while on Reddit, I also came across a painting by Godasaurus called Evening at the Teldrassil. It brings a tear to my eye to see 2 night elves enjoying an evening in the now burnt city. Don't worry, this picture, unless I'm mistaking its meaning, is pre-Sylvanas' Wrath. And there's a new podcast out there called People of Azeroth. I noticed them after they followed the FrazlCast account. June is joining the realm of podcasters who love to interview guests. The podcast description is each episode I will interview a new guest, ask them about their experience in WoW, discuss news and gameplay, and have some fun questions at the end. So hey Juno, I'm always game if you need a guest. I love to talk. No, Siri, I was not talking with you. I was talking to Juno. And it's interesting that so many people talked about finding a community in this episode of FrazlCast, and we are in the From the Community section. So while it reports that Blizzard has made it easier to find guilds and communities in-game, now I do want to note that they did this before, so it will remain to be seen that this is able to do better than what it did before. Well, this has been another episode of FrazlCast. I had the honor of being on Half Hour Report episode 100 with a lot of different people. It was a party at the Lazy Turnip with a lot of names that you'll recognize, so I didn't add it to the last episode as we recorded it the same day I was working on getting out episode 133 of FrazlCast, and I didn't want to pressure Tosh into getting his episode ready before FrazlCast, because he had about 6 to 8 people on the episode. Wow, I used to do that. And Tosh, I give you mad props for doing that. And I got a couple of shout outs to give. So Teki Taka listened to episode 133 and said, loved hearing about Mr. Arnie stopping by our stream while we were playing the Jackbox Party Pack. Teki says Arnie's a solid dude, and he said check out his other podcast, Hello from the Magic Tavern. Teki has followed them for years. And Jendon told me in Twitch chat that they liked the episode with Thorn, and they were sad it was over as they didn't want us to stop talking. They were enjoying the conversation. And also, Spaz said for episode 133 with Thorn, he said he was surprised that we didn't use the Double Jeff Party pun. Oh, phooey! I missed the good pun. At every episode, I like to thank those who have given back to this show financially. Thank you to my Twitch subs out there, Capo, Crunk, Easy Mac, Harlow, Jendon, Michael, Nihar, Pete, Posty, Razarus, Telenroyd, Thorn, Felicia, Watson0715, Wicked Kitten 13, and Zorts. And thank you to Capo for the bits. If you want to support this show financially just like all those above, please go to support.gnomepodcast.com. There are a bunch of ways to support this show, from bits, subs, donations, even awesome merch that I love to wear. And if you have Twitch Prime, you can use your free Twitch Prime subscription on my channel and get access to awesome emotes. All of your support goes to help supporting this labor of love. I thank you so much. I love doing this show, but I could not do it without your support. Well, I am Frazley, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. So until next week, be awesome. Hi, this is Frazley of the Fraz Report. So I've got some quick breaking news. Icy Veins reports that Blizzard has said the Mighty Caravan Brutosaur, the mount that has its own auctioneer and has a price of 5 million gold, will be going away in the Shadowlands. Now, Blizzard said it will be part of the black market auction house, but we have found out the real reason why is this is to launch a new app called Uber Auction. So need an auction house? Open up the app and you will see the nearest Brutosaur. They'll come right over to you. Now, fees are maybe 1,000 gold per 10 minutes. So definitely only use this when you absolutely cannot make it to place when your heart's on cooldown. There's no word yet why they did this, but the good thing is now, if you have one of these Brutosaurs, you'll soon be raking in the gold. That is an Uber victory.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended. The Gnome Train intro is by Ali of Dungeon Fables and All Things Azeroth, and the opening music is by Brandon T. Blaylock.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.
Things to do. Go to Ironforge for the Alliance and Orgrimmar for the Horde. I'm going to call the Horde hard.